What's up guys, it's Punchy, and today we're back with another curse gear showcase talking about one of the strongest curse techniques in the entire game. Sometimes simplicity really works since this ability is very straightforward with some of the best payoffs in the entire game. Compared to Grief Wardens where you gotta sweat and cycle through all of your summons to stay alive, this is just a single button that wins you the game. If you want to troll, this is the best, but for combat it's also insane as well. Fresh Cut, the ability we're talking about today, was used by HP Pixel in the closed community for curse gear, and it probably had the largest impact ever on the game's community. I'll explain what I mean in a second, but you didn't want to get caught by this barber in the Hain era. It was just crazy. I'd even consider this ability as one of the strongest in the entire game, so don't sleep on it whatsoever. Anyway, today it's about time we become the strongest barber with the Fresh Cut curse technique. Let's break down the gameplay so you can try it out for yourself. With this curse technique, the user has access to a single ability that has massive impact on their enemy inside and out of combat. In terms of psychological damage and mind games, Fresh Cut can deal the most if you get caught by them. Anyway, let's begin with the basics. Pressing R with this ability lets the user do a damaging barrage of slashes that's kinda similar to Sukuna. You're able to catch people up close or approach them while this is active, and you should be abusing the active frames during its windup as much as possible. The active frames last for so long, you can even use these slashes and then turn towards your enemy and it will still snipe them from far away, so it's kinda busted. The grab by itself can be combined into your combos to finish them, use early to start them, or even extend after any of your strings if you want to do more damage. I will say, the extension and starting potential isn't exactly undefendable, but the windup is really fast and hard to cancel with a parry. Besides landing this barrage, what exactly does this do? Let me tell ya, it's very powerful. Just by landing our slashes, that deals percent damage that scales based on the HP of our enemy. The more health you have, the more damage is going to be dealt to you, and that's great since durability is essential on almost every single build. Testing against my friend with an insane amount of nibble stacks, he has busted HP and resists a lot of my damage, but Fresh Cut doesn't care and still does a chunk of HP regardless. Besides just dealing damage, the slashes from Fresh Cut subtract from your enemy's cursed energy bar whenever they hit, which is just amazing to shut down players that want to start spamming. But wait, it gets even better. There's a special section at the top of our screen that counts our snips, and this can improve what we can do if we end up building it up. Landing hits of any kind adds to our snip counter, capping out at a certain point, and with snips, this evolves our Fresh Cut damage. With maximum snips, the amount of slashes and stun is increased, the percent damage goes up, and the cursed energy deletion gets an upgrade too. It's so powerful in combat. If you're running a high pressure build, there's nothing else like it in the entire game. To maximize our output, you can allocate your tech points into haste to build up snips faster and output to deal even more with our grab, but it works however you like. And seriously, that's just the first part of this curse technique. The utility part of being a barber is probably the most troll ability in the entire game. With Fresh Cut, we're able to customize our own hair and our allies that agree however we like. So the Roblox ID, color, and gradient can all be chosen for anyone in our seat, and that means anyone. By knocking enemy players, we can force give them a haircut, which gives them a small debuff until they get it fixed, but most importantly, we can destroy their drip. You'll notice people running around with the most obscene, insane cuts in the game because of Fresh Cut, and that's not by their choice. These cuts last 12 hours unless you head to an NPC in Shibuya to get it fixed, but back in the closed community era, these lasted like 2 weeks. Besides that, you can even collect time from your willing customers if they want to pay, which helps out progression as a barber. So for trolling, insane combat potential, and progression speedrunning, Fresh Cut does it all. After becoming the ultimate barber, let's see this curse technique in action. This fight, for example, is showing off some pretty safe combos you can do on your class and just extending them or finishing them with the Fresh Cut grab, and it works pretty well. Against this guy, I'm kinda getting mixed up on the corner and I can't really get out of it, but I'm being cautious of my surroundings because I don't want him to just rewind and get like a million damage off, but yeah, I'm being wary of that. Once I do get in, and sometimes it's a little bit hard against classes like this, I'm going for something safe, no mix-ups or anything crazy. As soon as I land something, I'm starting off my combos. Depending on the CT I'm fighting, sometimes I'm going to be going for a starter with the Fresh Cut grab or doing it way earlier instead of getting that maximum damage because I want to make sure their CT bar is getting drained. Because of the Storm Clan's extra damage in Windswept, I think it's like 15%, I basically landed 3 combos and he was cooked. Here's another great example of a rushdown class that's very difficult to catch. I think projector vector arrows is probably one of the fastest and hardest classes to catch in the entire game, and this setup is just ridiculous since I kind of have to play defense and look for holes in his, approach. Against this CT and class, I'm not really respecting it and I'm getting punished for that, so I really have to be playing neutral and waiting until he approaches. After he keeps knocking me down and keeps punishing me with his insane dexterity, I kind of realize I'm not going to catch him with my normal M1 string or my sweep since it's too punishable, so instead I start off my combo with a fresh cut grab and extend off of that. The insane part about this is that I got it multiple times in a single combo, and that's ridiculous if you have high haste and high efficiency. So at this point, I really want to keep up the pressure since I keep dealing damage to him, which I don't really care about. I'd really just want to drain his energy bar since he hasn't been hitting me whatsoever and has no regeneration for his CT. In this current meta, since everyone's going speed and projector, I mean a lot of classes are just moving around with Curse Blitz, you can kind of just use this CT to catch people, and it's so powerful since the damage to limbs is crazy. This guy has no legs, he can't really run, he's not even using RCT, so he's just running at me and taking my hits. Just by playing safe and capitalizing off a single hit, I can really just punish them and take them out. We're here with another hunter guy who's just going to be rushing me, but he doesn't understand that jumping is going to get him killed, and at this point I don't really care about super high combos. I really just want to hit him with my snips to reduce his energy bar, since the best part of the hunter kit is that mix-up and I don't want him to use that. The hunter's invisibility clone is very dangerous, but you can't hide behind it, and if you jump carelessly you're going to get caught like this. So instead of doing my full combo, I'm really just hitting him with my grab just to reduce his spam, and I want to teach him how to air counter and why you don't want to be jumping around. Especially when he does some of these moves and he wants to disappear into his cloaking, that is not going to be safe and we have to punish him with our combos. Ravager is one of those flexible classes that's really good when you get into your mode and start punishing players, and as soon as we do that with our CT, we're dealing insane damage and popping off legs, popping off limbs. It's very good. I'm not sure, just like I mentioned earlier, that the Storm Clan, that gets a 15% damage boost in Windswept. I don't know if that applies to the percent damage being dealt by our snips, but if it does, that is ridiculous. It honestly might need some nerfs if you're stacking, percentage multipliers on top of another buff, but it is conditional, and to be fair, I will be abusing that. Regardless of what I did or whatever class I was on with any CT, this guy is just playing way too dangerous. He's just jumping around, and you cannot be doing this in that game. You're gonna get punished. At the end of the day, the Deepoken Curse Gear devs love barbers. I mean, seriously, we've seen his performance on Fade Trimmer, and we see how it is right now with Fresh Cut. Just for the meme, it's one of my favorite abilities in the entire game, and if you want a curse technique that can basically do it all and do it well, check out Fresh Cut. With that being said, leave your thoughts down below and tell me which curse technique or build you want to see next. Thanks once again to all the supporters who motivate me daily and directly help out the channel because it means a lot. If you want to join as a member for my channel, go down below, but besides that, my personal Discord and my UGC group are linked down below, so check them out. Thanks once again, and make sure to like and subscribe. It's punchin' time.